Hello, many SaaS founders find it super difficult to be getting consistent stream of demos. And in this video, I'd like to show you some of the systems that I have inside my company, which allow us to be booking on average 17 to 22 calls or applications every single week for the last few weeks. And I would say that this week, we're approaching Christmas, and that's why we had a couple of cancellations. But on average, in the last 1 month, we've been at 17 booked calls, 17-20, and usually booking 10 to 12 new ones every single week. In this video, I'll walk you through our CRM processes, how we're running our cold email, how we're running our LinkedIn flows, and share basically what's the secret sauce that allowed me to get from averaging 1 meeting a week to averaging 21 meetings a week. So the core foundation behind all of this is an offer and us understanding the audience that we're reaching this with. So if I go to my main website, which is, thanks to me getting a sexy.com domain now, is sascam.com, I have an offer which is directly speaking to my ideal audience, and you don't need some advanced CRM flows or some peculiar AI automations for your cold email campaigns unless you have this one dialed in. And same applies for B2B SaaS startups, that unless you clearly know your ideal customer profile and you understand what is the clear benefit that you can drive to them, you don't need to go into some debris and specifics, or because your offer is what gets you to the first 5-7 meetings a week. Then there are a couple key acquisition channels that we're using. So for instance, I understand that my ideal customers are B2B SaaS startups who are growing through product demos and who are selling their software at 1K a month all the way up to a couple $100,000 annual subscription. And I make my entire marketing and everything speak directly to them. So main channels that we're getting people from are LinkedIn outbound and inbound, and cold email. The other channels which we are working on right now are YouTube, SEO, into which I've spent and invested over 15 grand to this date. And thanks to that, as I'm currently ranking for number one, if you look up SaaS coach, I'd be among not platforms but individuals the first person here. And that's why if you want to Google something like B2B SaaS sales related, I usually would end up somewhere in top 5-7, and this is getting us an additional couple bookings a month. Right. However, the main drivers of everything are our cold email and LinkedIn campaigns, and that's how I nailed it for myself, and now I'm helping out to founders to do exactly the same. In the past months, we've been running campaigns using Smart Lead, and on average, you may see that one of the best performing campaigns recently has been this one, which we ran from November to December. 50% open rate, 16% positive reply rate, 10% total reply rate. This is quite healthy. Same goes for this one, 22,000 emails sent, 75% open rate, thanks to us doing the double verification of the leads using Never Bounce. Then 20% positive reply rate, which is on a very healthy basis. The way I do our cold email campaigns is, a year ago I would be sending them from just couple domains. Now we are using 38, I think 40 email domains to be sending out 40 emails from each, and this is allowing us to be to be sending 1,200 emails on average every single day. And after we had it compound for a few months, no surprise that we were able to get to such results. So I currently have a team of myself and SDR who is helping me out to do all the follow-ups and stuff like that. And here I am always A/B testing multiple variations, and sometimes I go very creative and crazy about all the A/B testing, because here you may see I've got versions of first email A, B, C, D, E, F, then G, H, and this is purely for email 1. Then I've got 2 versions of email 2, 2 versions of email 3, same for email 4, same for email 5. And this one was a very nice campaign, because you may see that bounce rates are not exceeding 2%, and open rates are between 60 and 70% average. And this is why it's super fun for me to hear from people that, oh, our open rates are high, we are at 15-20% open rates. Well, no, you're not. Basically, high open rates are 75 to 90%, I would put it. In competitive, well, in usual niches, you want to be at 50% or above, while in highly saturated niches like SaaS and e-com, you want to be, one sec, you want to be at, let me quit everything, at 40% or above. So, for example, if I were to take one of our best performing copies for cold email, the way I prefer structuring cold email copy is you want to keep it brief, and you want to make sure that it speaks directly to your customer. I mean, I don't want to make it a half-hour video about cold email copy, but if I were to look into the way we're sending those, here's one of the examples. I can help you, your B2B SaaS, add more than 240K in ARR in less than 6 months. I'd get 60% of my fee only after you hit this result, and refund you the initial 40% in case you don't. I'll achieve it by building you an in-house HAS system, which we integrated for over 100 startups that took part in our accelerator. Would you be interested to discuss it if we are a good fit to work together? Low friction CTA. And post-scriptum, you won't need to increase your marketing budget, give away equity, or outsource your sales. This would be me overcoming the top objections I would usually have on cold traffic against my offer. And as you break down my emails, for example, this one is quite on a longer end, few paragraphs, and I go quite specific in terms of numbers, because it took me years to understand, okay, what is the value I can be getting for founders. And that's where all of this has originated from. I would say that for my email 1, most of the variations I'm sending are on the longer end, because currently I found that in my case it converts better if I pre-handle more objections rather than leave them in the air. And that's how we're doing this. So I have an SDR who is managing this master inbox and assigning all the statuses. And as we are getting a reply from a person, we then put them into our CRM. So if I go and open leads, we have the pipeline, which is organized in the following way. So we have replied to first message, and this is where we have the leads fall into. Then we immediately want to reply to them and say, if someone tells us, tell me more, we then want to send them the reply and immediately put them in waiting for lead to respond. And this is where majority of the people in the pipeline are sitting at. If someone asks, oh, have you ever got results for a company in Iceland which were working from Mars, or some other creative objection like that, we put them into reply to lead, and I then sort it out together with my team. After which we put it in waiting for lead to respond. Then we have the scheduling in progress. This is for leads who confirm that they are interested in the call, and we are booking them. Then the high priority ones would be one step away, like final confirmation of time or something. And then the fun part begins when, okay, it would be easy to be just working and booking people who book straight away. However, 99% never do. And you'd ask me, Denis, how do you manage that? So We have follow up with the lead today, and the way it works is after we have an automation working that if we did not receive a reply from a lead for 2 days, and they've been in this waiting for lead to respond, and they have not come back to us within 2 days, they automatically fall into follow up with the lead today. And this is how one of key tasks of my SDR is that every single day this list should be clean, and we follow up on every single person who hasn't come back to us within 2-day time frame. And this is, I believe, one of the most foundational business decisions and improvements I've made this year in terms of how we are managing the pipeline. Because if out of all things here today you can take out one thing, it would be create a systematic way to message every non-responding lead every 2 days, because you cannot imagine how many calls we would be booking after 7, 10, 12 follow-ups and then end up closing them. Then mid follow-up 14 days, someone says, look, I'm currently traveling, let us have a meeting or discuss it in 2 weeks. And this is where they would go. And please be careful not to mistaken I'm now flying, let's chat in 2 weeks, with the ones which are saying, oh, let's discuss this 6 months from now. Because this is the objection you want to handle by saying, look, it doesn't make sense for us to wait 6 months unless we understand that we're fit to work with each other. So that's why let's figure this out. Then call booked, a long follow-up 30 days is I'm now fundraising, let's finish this. Let me finish this. Then no call to reschedule. Another one, many of your calls from the pipeline are going to be dropping out before they actually book the call. And for example, they cancel last minute or something else occurs, and then you fall into your routine and you forget about them. We don't want to do this, and that's why my SDR every day checks what have we missed from today and puts the missed leads here so we can rebook them. Check in 90 days and disqualified, self-explanatory. Then what we also have is the pipeline chart, and I want to be careful not to be going too much into as much as I'd love to show you everything, I don't want to go in too many specifics in these 2 pages for understandable reasons, because there are many internal notes, I would say. And pipeline, that's where we would be registering all the other data on the lead. For example, don't want to show it, but I do want to, but can't. And that would be information about where they are, where they want to get to, specifics of their business and stuff like that. Then another thing we would be doing is not only we're using these systems to be booking calls for ourselves, but also we are each week checking in with 3 times a week. We're asking all the people inside the program how their campaigns are performing. So from that we'd be able to compare their performance with their campaign performance with other people who are currently coaching. And from that we would be able to see that on average median number across all the markets, people are booking 1 meeting per 500 emails, and last week they got 53 calls booked. Nice. Then this was for cold email that I showed you here. The other thing we're doing is not only we are sending 1200 emails a day and following up on everyone there. Also, we have all notifications from our cold email automatically go into internal Slack. And from there, we're seeing, okay, this is an interested lead. We want to reply to them straight away. Reply time on interested leads must be 1 hour or less. And this one will incredibly affect your booking rate. If you can get it down to 10 minutes, this will get you even better results. Because on cold email, you're dealing with many people who have no clue who you are. And that's why the faster you can reply to them, the more calls you're going to be getting. The quota we have is 1 hour reply time, should be no more than that. Aside from me tracking all of this in our main CRM, we have also created multiple visual representations for our data so that we can see how many people are where in their booking processes at each point of time. So for example, I know that we currently have 4 people who replied to first message and who we need to DM. We have 2 who are waiting for it to respond, then 11 calls booked, stuff like that. Then if I go into more detail in terms of calls CRM, from here we know that we booked in the last, I guess we refreshed it a few quarters ago, maybe 6 months ago or something. Since then, this many calls booked, this many people we partnered up with. Then what else is there? This is the split across all the statuses to see how everything is working, and I see a high lean towards bad fit, yeah, because we don't onboard every startup there is, but only those who we can get a 10x ROI to. Statuses, how many are in each group and how the split looks like, and I check it every week to make sure that we don't want to be if we have too many people who we need to be following up on after the call, this means we're not being as effective in the sales process, and we want to make sure that we don't have 300 about to buy leads. Then here, the reason we build those is now we can see how total emails sent and total LinkedIn leads contacted correlate to number of new calls booked. So basically there was a large compound effect which happened a few months ago, because after I put a full-time person to take care of that and started tracking all of this and built all of this out with my COO, things took 3-4 months to really work and for me to start getting more calls than I can personally handle, and that's why soon we're gonna be getting the salesperson. Perfect. This is the data which allows us to see how the inputs correlate to calls booked. And secondly, apart from us doing cold email, we're also running LinkedIn outbound campaigns. There, our data from top of my head looks the following way. So we're sending them using the Dripify tool, and with this, from each profile, we're sending out 20 outbound connections a day, and then we have a 3-step qualification sequence after we get in touch, after which we invite the person in a call. For the moment, we are this way reaching 7 times 20, 140. 50% acceptance rate means we get 70 new connections each week on each profile. And we have been doing this on 4 LinkedIn profiles, and currently we are in the process of adding 4 more LinkedIn profiles to that. This would get us from 70 accepted connections a week towards 140, and with our reply rate of average 10 to 15% to the first message, this allows us to be booking 3 to 6 calls just from that before we 2x this, and within few weeks in January it's gonna be double, simply because we have the lead list sorted out. Cool. I think this covered the cold email and LinkedIn. A big other thing we're doing is I'm doing the content, and I'm using Tapo to be scheduling all my posts, and I usually stick to 1 to 2 posts a day. I post multiple case studies each week. This is getting us an additional couple of inbound leads coming to me. I, in the past few months, have been testing so many crazy extensions on my LinkedIn profile that I had some issues with the account, and that's how I had to migrate to the new one. Because if you use one account to test all the tens of some crazy LinkedIn extensions, which majority of which go slightly against users policy, this is not a surprise. However, as long as you are doing outbound from other accounts, using your main one for getting mostly inbound meetings, and I mean, the main issue I had, the main reason I had an issue with the account was that, one, I think I've been testing every LinkedIn extension on it there is, and secondly, I had a few people sit inside my LinkedIn and schedule calls from it, and as it seems they were neglecting the proxy login, and that's how LinkedIn could see that within a day we have people coming from multiple parts of the world, which they didn't like for extended period of time, and this resulted in it. So be cautious with that, and understand that you might be using your main profile for connecting and reaching out to people. Just once you onboard an appointment set or people in future, heavily consider using alternative profiles, because funnily enough, if they are optimized well, you then can be getting even higher reply rate. I mean, our reply rate on our AI accounts is higher than on my main one, and this is interesting, maybe because mine is a bit like salesy or what. And some people ask me, Denis, have you ever gotten into a problem of you using AI accounts on LinkedIn for outbound sales? And I haven't, because after the first 20 seconds in the call of the phrase, oh yeah, your colleague got in touch with me, this is forgotten, and then the whole context is purely about the business and stuff from there. As the nature of my work is helping people get more results from LinkedIn and cold email, of course, I then tell to everyone, yes, we used an AI account to book a meeting with you, but personally, you looking at this, Ashley Henderson, I doubt you'd ever think that she, with your fantastic experience of working in multiple places, was not able to, I mean, that she's non-existent, because she's not. And same goes for a few other profiles. Cool. Scaling to 8 profiles, then 40 email domains, following up on all the people in the pipeline every 2 days, and then same story for after the call. Having a full-time person to take care of all the communications prior to call and book as many meetings as possible, all combined with me doing YouTube and LinkedIn content marketing, is exactly what allowed us to get to averaging 20 applications every single week for the last month or so. What I do is, I basically, when I partner up with founders, I help them to build out everything that I've just shown to you, so they can also get from 5 to 20 meetings a week, or for instance from 20 to 45, just because there are so many technicalities that go into cold email infrastructure that many people don't know, that I imagine is like when someone joins the program and they are getting 3 meetings a week from cold email, while the open rate is 15% and their positive reply rate is 2%. Imagine what results I can get to them once we go plus 50% on open rate, which, if done right, is what I achieve for myself. And when we have less than 2% spam bounce rate, and 15-25% average positive reply rate. This one was 42 good campaign, it seems. All this done right for a period of 3 to 4 months, and it is really unreasonable how someone may not double, if not quadruple, the number of demos they're getting. And my approach to business is quite simple. As long as you can get a shit ton of meetings with your ideal prospects and close at least 10-25% of them, it's very hard. I mean, if you're booking so many calls, it's very hard for you to be not generating more cash flow. This is pretty much it. Let me know if you got questions, and feel free to reach out in case you want me to guide you on how to set all this up and how to make it work for your business as well, so you can be hitting your next revenue targets. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.